Hello everyone, welcome to From the Void podcast, a show all about Eternal and our experiences with the game. With me today, as always, unless we're vacationing and the sweet warm temperatures of the Bahamas and...
As always, except for all those other times.
Exactly. Doesn't make sense, but it's okay. I'm tired, I'm drinking coffee. Bassoon, how are you doing?
I wish that sentence had ended in coffee.
Oh.
You're just like, I'm drinking.
I'm drinking.
Today is a drinking one.
I am a heavy coffee drinker. There you go. So, I mean... As we both take sips of coffee at the same time. That was great.
Oh, yeah. For the audio listeners, let's give that ASMR coffee slurp.
I know. It's like, just like start rubbing the top of your cup, near the microphone.
For the listener, Navillus does drink his coffee out of a crystal goblet. So.
Yes. I need to get one now. Now you put me on the spot. I have to.
This is. I'm strictly about tricking the audio only today.
Okay.
If you idiots that just listen to audio and don't watch our beautiful YouTube VODs, don't want to be tricked, then tune into youtube.com/ECMMOgamers.
Exactly. I will not correct you on anything unless it highly offends me. So, listeners, you never know what's gonna. You need to watch the videos just to find out what Bassoon is saying is true or not. Okay, that's the incentive now every week to watch the videos to find out. So, Bassoon, how was your week in Eternal? How was it, man?
Oh, it was good. I have two things I want to talk about during my week of Eternal.
Go for it. The floor is yours. Okay. Go for it.
First of all, Fire, Justice, Shadow decks were probably a little too good. They were almost certainly too good.
No way.
And that's why they were nerfed. We'll get to it. However, the only thing I hated more than Fire, Justice, Shadow cards in a deck are people complaining about Fire, Justice, Shadow cards in a deck. Reddit was insufferable this week. I know I'm on a never-ending campaign of bullying these poor anonymous Reddit users, but Jesus, guys, this is ridiculous.
I think my only complaint was probably Eternal should do something since we'll talk about it, their top 8 was Fire, Justice, Shadow decks. I'm like, they probably should do something. That was my only complaint. I'm like, I'll let them decide, but that was just, anyway. That was my that was my tweet. I'm like they probably should now. Okay, that's So
I spent the week trying to metagame around FJS and failing and getting very mad about it. But my other thing I wanted to talk about is the power of forced positivity. Because yesterday, after a very frustrating week of playing Eternal, I sat down before my stream and I said, today, no matter what happens, we're not allowed to be mad about it. No matter how many times I lose, being mad about it is banned. And there is science behind this. There is science behind the physical act of moving your face into a smile, makes your brain release the chemicals that make you smile, right? The endorphins that make you smile. It's they're connected. You think people consider them only to be connected one way. Your brain releases chemicals and then you smile, right? However, it goes the other way. And if you force yourself to appear positive and to if you force positivity, then your brain will start releasing those positivity chemicals into your brain, and you will generally feel better. So this is my self-help tip of the day. Fake it until they nerf FJS.
It was so scientifical until the very last part you said there.
Nothing is more scientifical than the word scientifical. Yes.
You're just just fake it till they nerf FJS. Totally. Just right back to the card game. Okay. Very nice.
But so I had a stream yesterday morning, and I said, I'm not gonna be mad today. And no matter how much I lost, I forced myself to just laugh about it, and I had a really good stream, and it was fine.
Awesome.
And then my computer died, which might happen today. Just heads up.
If his computer dies, we'll carry. I will do my best to carry this show, people. And so
until my Patreon for a new computer.
Bassoon will join me back on his phone. He'll stream from his phone, walking around the house.
Oh yeah. House tour podcast.
House tour. Ooh. This could be fun. All right. Let's see. My weekend in Eternal was pretty much the same. It was very frustrating. I tell you what, like, once I got to, like, Diamond 3, it was just, like, I don't know what I was encountering. It was a lot of FJS. And then there was some decks that were particular to counter those decks, but they were like basically the only deck they could beat would be FJS. That's how bad they were. It was like those decks. Like, this deck is just designed to beat FJS. Any other deck you'd probably lose with it. And so it's just like I would come up with some random cards. I'm like, I've never seen anyone play this, but it's good against me, and I understand why you're playing it, but it's not good against anything else. And and so that then I just stuck with it. I switched around a little bit, and I just stuck with FJS. I did. I put before everyone was doing it. I was talking to Wicked Good. He was on our podcast last week. 2 weeks ago. Or 2 weeks ago. Sorry, 2 weeks ago. We talked about Martyr's Change, which is the 8-cost 3 Justice Influence that basically at the end of the turn it doubles your attack and your health of your minions, but also every time you play a power, you destroy an enemy minion. And so I started putting that in there. Then other people got caught on to the same idea because it's actually a pretty good sideboard card in the mirror, and because those games will go a little bit long. But when you have like a 30-26 like a 40 40-36 Rizon or something like that, that's a pretty sweet card to swing with into the face. So I just learned how to play the mirror, and I climbed pretty steadily to Diamond 1. Then I kind of bounced around because the past couple days I haven't had a lot of time to play. Just life got in the way. I was just getting my pack basically, and I was like hoping to push today to hit Masters, and then something happened, which we'll talk about. So yeah, I know. So, but I was getting frustrating. But like Bassoon said, I was just like, I'm just gonna roll with the punches. Just laugh about it. If they do something crazy. Honestly, that's what I was doing. Like they would play some like random card, except when they played like Zal and Howling Peaks together. That was just frustrating. But when they were just like playing random cards, I would just laugh like, that's pretty smart. I'm like, I give you props on that. You probably won't be in the other deck, but good job, and move on and everything. So, but yeah, hopefully I'll push for Masters today. I'll have some time and it'll be good. But that's been my week, just kind of being busy, messing around a little bit. Did a draft. I'm actually in the middle of a draft right now. I don't play draft a lot, but I have free draft tickets, so I have to use them. So I'm being forced to play draft right now.
I've been on the same draft since the second week of December.
Oh my word!
It's just been sitting in my queue. So I've resolved myself every day. Every time I stream, the first game I play is going to be one game of this draft, and I'm currently 4-0, I think. So go me.
Yes, Zeroshio says he's pretty offended that Wicked Good got on the podcast and not him, since he hit Masters, first and everything. Anyway,
listen, it'll be the crossover event of the century when we get Zeroshio on. We're not ready yet.
That'll take this podcast to a whole different level, whether good or bad.
I've heard Zeroshio talk. We need to block out like 3 hours for that show. Like we try and keep the show shorter for the people, Zeroshio. Yeah. When we do an unabridged version of the podcast, we'll invite you on.
Exactly. We'll do like no hold bars, just go and everything. We'll wait till the 100. We'll wait till the 101st episode, then have you on, so Bassoon can say whatever he wants, and you can be on here, and it'll be 3 hours of just who knows what. Okay, so anyway, that was my week. Let's jump right into the news here. The first thing is Direwolf Digital. I got to bring it up here. Direwolf Digital is doing a Game Changer charity, okay?
Man, talk about burying the lead, huh?
I'm going to tell you what. All right. You want to...
You're going to make these people wait the whole damn show to get to the big stuff, huh?
Oh, I am. It's this is what I learned. Someone told me professional podcasting, you wait until the very... No, I don't know. I have no clue. Okay, I'm just going to run through these pretty quickly. So, Bassoon, do you want to talk about this real quick? I am going to pull up the logo here for the people.
I have never, ever, ever been more tempted to purchase a visual avatar than the sloth that is being offered to us for charity right now.
Oh, dude, they already took my... Well, they're about to take my money today because I'm like... It's for a good cause, and the card back is pretty sweet. Okay, let's just be honest here. Like in the avatar,
it's very good. Okay, it's by far the best. It's by far the best avatar they've ever produced.
Oh, when I saw it, I'm like, oh my word! I'm like, this is how they're making money. It's not by selling packs. It's like.
It goes to a good cause. You told me that this charity helps people pay their medical bills and stuff.
Yeah. They're actually, they help people that have gone through, like, cancer survivors, like young people that have gone through anything from cancer to other things. And, because medical bills, especially in the U.S., can pile up big time. This helps them with scholarships to go to college. Once they get through this, they can they have a way to actually go to college, and it gives them, basically a way to pursue their dreams and their career they want to do. And so it's actually pretty cool that they help people out doing this. So and like I said, Direwolf Digital wouldn't just like pick a random charity. I'm sure they've done their due diligence and everything. But from what I read, I went on their website. It's Game Changer. Let me see, GameChangerCharity.org. You can go in there, look at their mission, what they're about. Even like other, I think, streamers and gamers actually help out with this too. So it's actually pretty cool to check it all out. It's going for a cool cause to help people pursue their dreams after going through a crisis so young, when they're 13, 14, 15, somewhere around there. It helps them get back on their feet. Helps the family, too, where they can help their kid, pursue a career and everything. So go check it out. It's pretty cool. It's 50% of the proceeds is going towards it, I believe. Let me check here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50% of all proceeds are going towards it. And, And there's 2 bundles, I believe, right? There's let me see here. Or is it just one bundle?
There's just one, but if you buy it through the Direwolf Digital website, you get a draft ticket.
Yes. Okay. The card back. Okay, no, the avatar is $5.99 to get, and then the sloth is $5.99 too. The sloth card back is $5.99 to get, but if you get both together, you can get both together for $10. So you
I didn't realize they had broken them up and were selling them separately.
Yeah, You can sell them separately. Then then you get everything for $10.99 plus. If you go through the Direwolf Digital Store, you get a free draft ticket. So it's like free 5,000 gold right there to go. So that's a pretty good purchase. So go check that out. It's a good cause. I'm going to do it today. I've just been busy. I think they released it yesterday where you could purchase it, but I haven't had time to go on their website and purchase it yet. But I will. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm glad they're doing stuff like that. And I hope to see more of that, honestly. It'd be really cool.
Yeah. Cool.
And everything. All right, real quick, we're going to run through, because this kind of goes right into our topic, really. We had, this past weekend, the ETS Top 8, the ETS tournament, and the ECQ tournament. And basically, as I pull it up here, we see right here that for the ETS tournament, there was some variance. I mean, pretty much, if you want to get into it, I believe 7 out of the 8 decks had fire in it. I believe 5 out of the 8 had Justice in it, and then it was different. So they had a pretty somewhat diverse, but the top 3 decks were FJS in the ETS tournament. And then if you go to the ECQ tournament, anything you want to say about that before I go into the ECQ?
Shout ETS?
Out. Yeah, a teammate of yours won, right? Seek Power Gaming.
Gozu won that tournament, right?
Gozu. So congrats to Gozu.
Won. And if you scroll all the way down there to 5th place, you'll see young BassoonBuffoon in that top 8 as well.
I did not see that. Congrats, man. I apologize. I told you, I've been so busy this week. The first time I looked at the ETS top 8 was like today.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine. So I played Yetis in that tournament, and I played 6 sets on Saturday. I played the 5 rounds of Swiss, and then I lost round 1 of the top 8.
Ooh.
5 of my 6 sets were against FJS. 3 of my 6 sets were against the exact same deck. So, it was, though I did top 8, and I think I did okay, it was easily one of the most frustrating experiences in my tournament career. I was so angry. Every game I played was a frustrating slog of an uphill battle. But
you made the top 8 though, so
yeah, obliterates are good.
With obliterates and Yetis to a point, right? And pretty good. So yeah, but that was the top 8 for ETS. So that's pretty cool. Go on EternalWarcry.com. Check that out. All right, then we have the ECQ, which is Direwolf Digital's official company tournament, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, This right here. When they released the top 8, people on Reddit probably went crazy. And
not just the top 8, the top 64. Did you see the breakdown of the faction breakdown?
Oh, yes, I did. It was insane. It was. They had the max number of torches because like every deck had fire and it had torches. And I'm not saying torch. Torch is a good card, okay? But it's
34
not like
of the top 64 were literally FJS decks.
34, 50. Oh my, over 50%. I did not.
Yeah.
And
the
top
pie
8
chart looked hilarious.
The top 8, yes, I saw the chart for the top 64. I was just like, wow. And then the top 8, you have 6 out of 8 decks. Well, I'm sorry, 5 out of 8 decks are FJS. And just like when I saw this, I'm like, people on Twitter, on Reddit, they're gonna go in an uproar, and they did. They did. As Bassoon said that Reddit was in a frenzy this week.
And that's the thing is, like, I half wanted to be like, let's, like, calm down. Like, you know, the meta, they just made changes, like, 2 weeks ago, right? The meta is, like, very young. But I do believe FJS was probably just a tier 0 deck, and I do believe that you can build FJS to beat any metagame. You just have to be smart enough. And it's, like, a somewhat skillful deck. I think FJS isn't completely brain dead. It's frustrating to play against, but it's not like a disgusting brain dead. It's just a collection of the best cards in the game, it was.
Yeah, or it was. But yes, but it was a very skill intensive deck. Recursion, you know, card draw, you name it, it had it. It was just good. So that brings us into. See, I didn't keep you all waiting too long. That brings us to the balance changes that happened. Yes. Balance changes got released yesterday. Well, actually, technically today, I guess, is when it's going to take place. But
they were announced yesterday, released today at some point.
Exactly. So we're going to run through these right here because they were, they did a little thing on the Steam community thing about releasing the balance changes, and they talk about they always keep an eye on it and everything, which we know they are. They have to. It's their game, and it's like, but. So they did some changes. We're just gonna walk through these. Here's our topic. We're just gonna walk through these, and we're gonna talk about now. I don't have the cards changed. I do have the cards on the screen. We'll talk about how they were changed. So what you're seeing on the screen is not the balance to them. So just let you know. But we'll talk about it. So the first, we're gonna go over merchants. Yes, merchants were balanced again. Again, yes, they were balanced. All right. The first one we have Red Canyon Smuggler. This was a 2/3, cost 3, fire, justice, and then, double damage, swap a fire justice card in your black market. Now, it is a 2/2 for the same cost. Instead of a 3, costing 3, it is now a 2/2. What do you think of this, Bassoon?
I think it's the perfect nerf. Now it trades with 1-drops. It's still terrifying when you get the plate out of your market and play it on it. I think this is exactly what it should have been.
Same thing. I think because this card in aggro was really good because of just a 3 health. It can block things, and also in mid range decks it was just good too because you throw it down, it could trade up because it's double damage, and I mean it still can do that, but its health is weaker.
Yeah, now it trades with most 1-drops.
Yeah, like you said, very good. All right, let's move on. So I think that's a good change. It's perfect. It'll still see lots of play because it's a merchant card, but I think it's a good change.
Of importance though.
Yes.
A lot of times you'll find yourself. I play a lot of Kennedans, and a lot of times I would find myself with the 1-cost 1-damage snowball in hand with my Skycrag, my Howling Peak Smuggler, and now that spell damage snowball does kill Red Canyon Smuggler, which I appreciate.
Ooh, you're right. I have to remember that. Okay, I do play Kennedans a little bit too, so I want to like. All right, next one we have. Hidden Road Smuggler. Originally, it was a 3-cost. Justice Shadow Influence. 3/3 with lifesteal. Then you switch, the market, you know what that does. And now it is the same cost, but now it is a 2/3 instead of a 3/3. What do you think about that, Bassoon?
I don't know how much this is gonna. Obviously, there's like a huge difference in this game between 3 attack and 2 attack. Mm-hmm. Being able to trade with things like Teacher of Humility is so important. And honestly, this card being able to trade with 3 health units was probably one of the things that was hurting fast time decks a lot, and it was obviously one of the things that was hurting fast decks in general. So now that it only has 2 attack, you're more inclined. Your aggro decks are going to be more able to just ace space at them rather than have to waste a torch on it, and that torch can be used for hitting your opponent's face or hitting the Farah that they're going to play the next turn every freaking time.
You're not bitter about that, are you?
No, yeah. So now that it's a 2/3, aggro decks in general are just a little less likely to just get overloaded with their removal with lifesteal, and it's worse anti-aggro, and it's just a worse body to play anytime after turn 3, which is appreciated from my part.
I'm surprised they didn't make it a 2/2. I was surprised when I saw it. I was like, okay, 2/3, but I thought with the lifesteal they would even bump the health down. But I'm fine with it being a 2/3. It'll help aggro decks because, like you said, trading wise and everything else. But it was just a good trader, and it was also good for the offensive. When you put a couple of these down, you're gaining life, and it's a big swing. So.
Yeah,
but I agree. Yeah, it's a good change. It'll still see play. It's still a good card.
There is already a 2/3 lifesteal called Dream Snatcher in the game, and it actually comes down on turn 2, and it does not see play. Obviously, this will still see play because markets are crazy cool. But yeah, this is not a game changer anymore.
No, it's not. It's balanced. So I think they did a good job with it. All right, we're moving on to our next set of cards here, the lifesteal cards. Okay, so with the lifesteal cards, they were talking about, because they changed one of the smugglers, but we're going to talk about a couple different cards. Factory Quota. This right here, it basically says players can't gain, it's a 3 cost, 1 fire influence. Players can't gain life at the end of the player's turn if they didn't play a unit. Deal 2 damage to them. They cost 3, now it costs 2. So it costs a little cheaper. What do you think about... I only see this play in very fringe decks before, so I'm not sure what to think about this. I don't know what decks would be good in, so I was trying to think of what decks would want to play them.
I think it's really good anti-control for aggro-y, mid-rangey decks. The text enemy players can't gain life is so good. This really punished Temporal back in the day, back before Temporal was too good to punish. Factory Quota is one of my favorite cards. I think it's one of the most interesting cards in Eternal. The art on Factory Quota is actually my stream's Discord server's icon. If you've ever noticed that, I love Factory Quota, and this is just being able to play at a turn earlier now. And I don't just mean turn 2 versus turn 3 because no one's putting this in their deck. It's going in every market. But being able to play a merchant and then this on 5 is way 5 is 5 is obviously a smaller number than 6, but 5 is a much smaller number than 6. Does that make sense?
It does. going to 5 and 6 in Eternal feels like a huge leap sometimes.
Yeah, especially if you're a fast-ish deck. It's so much easier to have 2 more power left over after your plays than it is to have 3 power left over after your plays. And so even Factory Quota was just a little too clunky to be worth it, especially relic removal is pretty good and very efficient right now. So it felt really bad to waste half your turn or a whole turn sometimes playing this Factory Quota, and then they immediately just remove it. And now it feels less bad. It's less of a huge tax to pay 2 to play it.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen it like I said. I think it's a decent sideboard card if control becomes a thing where they don't play a lot of minions. I think that can be, like you said, pretty good.
What's a sideboard? I've never heard of that.
Oh, sorry, Magic the Gathering. Apologize. I was talking to someone with Magic Gathering yesterday. You know, we're talking about sideboards, and I was just market sideboards, whatever. Okay, like yes, in the market. There we go. Okay, I need to drink more coffee. There, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, yes, yes. Okay, now we're gonna get that. All right, Ankle Cutter is the next one. Okay, this one was 2 costs, 1 fire influence, a 3/1. It says the original thing it said because they changed the text. The card is still the same. But they changed the text. The original text was when a unit with endurance takes damage, kill it. Now it says when a unit with endurance or lifesteal takes damage, kill it. So they added just basically endurance and lifesteal. So this right here, like, I mean, it's obviously good against lifesteal units if you're playing this in aggro, but I'm not sure because of the 1 cost health. I don't know if this will see play or not. I'm interested to see if, like, with like Farah and everything else, this could be good. I'm not sure.
I don't think anybody's putting a playset of this card in their deck. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I think it costs 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. 2 cost 3/1 is. I mean, 3 attack is again pretty important for a unit to have. Ankle Cutter is like a pretty cool card. I like it a lot. I think it's going to see play in a lot of aggressive markets. One of my favorite interactions with Ankle Cutter is if your opponent plays. Oh man, what's the name of that card? It's a 1-cost relic that gives all your units endurance.
Oh, not the scarf, the hourglass, right?
Yeah, Infinite Hourglass. That's the name of it. If your opponent plays an Infinite Hourglass, Ankle Cutter plus Crystallize is now a board clear, and I think that's really funny. So now same interaction. Dizo's site.
Yeah,
I forget.
Yeah, it gives all life.
Yeah. So Ankle Cutter plus Crystallize is a board clear again.
Yeah, because Dizo's site gives all units lifesteal. That's great. Okay.
So Crystallize might come back now. Crystallize is always a cool card. It's always my first cut when I see like a cool deck and I see that it has Crystallize in the market. I always immediately cut the Crystallize.
Yeah. So who knows? This may see play. This may be thrown in a sideboard just if like Dizo's site gets popular. Who knows? It would just be kind of like a fun random card to play with. So, but yeah, who knows? Try it out. It's aggro. You know, it may be good, may not. Anyway.
Oh yeah, Boris in chat says Downpour, same effect for 3 less power.
There we go.
That's what Ankle Cutter Downpour might be the secret tech, the forbidden tech that you heard here first.
Ooh. So we might have to try that out. Okay. All right. Next card, the one that probably we all want to talk about. Rizon, the Great Bowmaster, takes a hit. Yes. Now the cost is still the same. It's still costing 6, double fire. Double Justice Influence. It's still a 5/4. It still has flying. It still has reckless. It still has lifesteal to a point. And it still has summon, deal 3 damage to an enemy. The thing that has been changed is the lifesteal because this card would gain lifesteal when you have 3 or more spells in your void. It has now been changed to if you have 6 or more spells in your void, this unit gains lifesteal. Alright. That's big. What do you think?
Yeah, now you have to try. Now you have to actually think about the number of spells in your void. That's what now Rizon, like you have to actually consider that text when you, because it was so easy to just incidentally have 3 spells in your void by turn 6. That was just through the course of playing the game. You just would get 3 spells in your void.
Yeah, exactly. Because between Seek Power, the cargo cards and the Lost Scroll, which ramps you in FJS, you're gonna have 3 spells in your, But yeah, this is huge because this card right here was, I believe, one of the main reasons aggro struggled. Is this right here? It's such a huge swing because when it would come down, you would gain 3 life, destroy one of their units, and they didn't take care of it. Like that next turn, they basically lost a game. I've had that so many times where they got me down to 5, 6 life by turns, 6, and I play this and they can't answer it, and I gain, I'm back up in a couple turns, if they don't concede, up to like 30 life, just because of this card. and it's just it was such a swingy card. And I think this is good. Like you said, you actually have to work for this. Like you said, you actually have to try now. It doesn't automatically happen because pretty much
it's like a consideration in your deck building.
Yeah, it is, because before it was like when you I'm not sure if you ever done this Bassoon, but when I play this card and I don't get the lifesteal, I kind of go like, "What just happened?" You know, then I have to check my void. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I only played 2 spells because I was so used to having like it just have lifesteal every time I played it."
That's what, yeah. Sometimes I'll play and I'm like, did I really? Like, of course, it's turn 6. Of course, I've played 3 spells.
I was shocked I didn't have 3 spells in the void. I had to check. Like, I thought I played 3. I'm like, no, I didn't. Okay, like it shocks me like before because it was like almost basically a summon effect too. Deal 3 damage to gain 3 life, or gain have lifesteal. But now you actually have to try. I think this. Now people are asking, should they disenchant or dust this card? What do you think? That I've been seeing that going around. Like, should they get the full value for this, or should they dust it and just hold on to the shift stone, or what do you think?
Here's my constant standard of advice on dusting and crafting. If you can get full dust value for something, go ahead and dust it. If you crafted it, if you're getting the refund, go ahead and dust it. If it's still good, you just recraft it, right? Like, if it's still going in meta decks a week later, just make them again. You already have that dust. So, like, just dust it, get the refund, then just sit on that dust for a little while. However, looking at these changes, these balance changes, I actually will be dusting 0 cards because of these nerfs. I think everything they've nerfed is still playable to very good.
I think Rizon is still good.
Except maybe Avagraft.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. We're getting there. We're getting there. But yes,
I'm going to keep 1 Avagraft.
Yes. For the market, you got to keep it there.
But okay. I will be dusting 0 of my Rizons. I think they're all just really good. Yeah, I think it's still very, very good.
A Rizon for, like you said, if it was just a 6/5, like, you have to think about it this way. If it didn't ever give you lifesteal, would you play this card? And the answer is probably into some decks, yes, because it's just good. It's a 6, 6 cost unit for 5/4 that does 3 damage when it comes down, and it has flying. I'm like, that's pretty good. That's a lot of stats right there in itself. And the lifesteal, if you can get it, is just a bonus. So, but yes, so there we go. That is Rizon. Our Bassoons and I advice is, if you want to, dust it or whatever, just hold on to it so you can craft it again, but it's still going to be see and play. So, there you go. All right, now we go on to sites and removals. Those are next. Yes, I said sites and removal. All right. I don't understand this because not all of these are technically removal, but hey, okay. This is what they said. The first one we have Amarin Stinger. This right here was a 3 cost 1 time influence 2/4, and it said it had charge, so it was a 2/4 charge. It said infiltrate. Put 3 scorpion traps into the top 20 cards of the enemy deck. Now it says put 5 scorpion traps into the enemy deck. It was 3. It's been bumped up to 5. So there's more. Basically, it's in the 5 in the top 20 instead of 3. I'm not sure if this changes anything per se, but I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't understand this change. I don't know what they're. I don't dislike it. I'm trying to think about what this does, and other than like makes the card a little bit better.
Yeah, I couldn't. It's a slight buff, and I can't really think of like maybe in the next set they have something coming out that they want this like traps to be a thing or something. I don't know.
Well, they did just nerf a whole bunch of anti-aggro, and so maybe this is like the kind of anti-aggro they want.
Okay. So yeah, so
it has like a nice fat health total for 3. 4 health on 3 is like pretty decent, and it gives you like deadly blockers at some. If you high roll, it gives you 5 of them immediately.
I mean, I guess if you have the Obelisk out, if you have Obelisk out and you play this, it's a 3 cost 3/5 with charge, and so that's not bad from like turn 4 on. So anyway, that becomes some.
I mean, a lot of cards get a lot of bit better when you count having an Obelisk out.
Yes, hey. Hey, I'm living the dream. Okay, let me dream. Okay, I'm not trying to net deck here. I'm trying to like. All right, let's go to the next card. We have Sarasaur Bull. Okay, this is a 7 cost, 2 time influence, 7/6, 7 attack, 6 health. It says Dinosaur Ally Charge. When Sarasaur Bull attacks, kill an enemy attachment. It did cost 7, now it costs 6. So it is a 6/7/6. So I don't know. So it's mid-rangey. It has charge if with Dinosaur Ally, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that much charging damage. It's got 7 attack, right?
Yeah.
That much charging damage, you have to be careful with just giving to people. But yeah, I don't think it's a broken card. I think it's a cool effect. The only 2 dinosaurs that see any kind of play at all is World Bearer Behemoth and
is the one with the Echo, the 5/4 that sees play?
I guess what sees more play is the transmute power. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
I can't remember. Monument.
The time monument.
Yes, the one that makes the 5/5 dinosaur.
Yeah, that's a dinosaur.
Yeah, whatever that one. It's just cool. We're bad with names, people. Okay. Anyway, but I don't know. I mean, I have some. I'll mess around with it. And so,
Amber Monument.
Amber. There you go. Amber. Okay. But yeah.
Well, yeah. When the most commonly played dinosaur is literally a token, then the dinosaur deck isn't a real deck. But maybe that's enough. Maybe having in a mono time deck just the behemoths and the tokens is enough.
For sure. All right, let's go on to our next card here. We have, for our next one, we have Cathane, Ripclaw Rider. All right. This right here was a 2 cost, primal time influence 0/4. When you summon it, it increases the cost of a spell in the enemy hand by 1. Ultimate was pay 3 to give Dairy +4 and Overwhelm if you have 2 or more spells in your void. Now it says, now increase the cost of an enemy spell or sight by 1. So it hits sights. It doesn't just hit spells, it hits sights as well. So I think maybe for, I don't know, if you're playing primal time type thing, this could be a card just to kind of like look at the opponent's hand and pick what you want just to play later on. I don't know. So
the only deck I've ever played Dairy Cathane in that was any successful even a little bit was back when TPS Cleaver was relevant. It hitting sights is pretty good. It's literally the only sight counterplay in the game. If you look down in the besides Mug, which if anybody says Mug to me again, like delete your account. But if you look and read the notes, it says they were they considered giving like more counterplay, which I read as do we let Sabotage hit sights? And I'm so glad that they didn't do that. Sabotage hitting sights would just be so frustrating.
Yeah, they would have to make that higher cost, honestly, if it was going to hit sights. It'd be like 3 or 4 and say, yeah, hit sights. But anyway.
Yeah. But Dairy, I think this is making a Howling Peaks cost 7 is again 7 is a much larger number in card games than 6.
For sure. All right, let's move on to the next card here. We have an old one that has been nerfed. Now it's sort of
new old,
and then it's kind of been unnerfed. Okay, we have Levitate. Levitate is 2 costs, 1 primal influence. It says, and it's a fast spell. It says, give a unit flying this turn, draw a card. Now it has been changed to cost 1, so it's not 2 anymore. It is now 1 again, the original cost. And it says, give one of your units flying this turn, draw a card. It only can be played on your units now. What do you think about this? Kind of originally going back to the original cost, but now the little tweaking is that you only can play it on your units.
Levitate has always been a weird and frustrating card for me. Old Levitate was like incredibly frustrating. Mm-hmm. Does it still draw the card?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's a good card. That's a very good card.
With renown decks, with primal justice decks and everything. With what's that card? The Hojin, the 2/1 Hojin and everything, giving it flying and draw a card, draw a power. Ooh,
this immediately becomes by far the best renown activator in the game,
easily.
Yeah, so, and I like that they changed the text. Levitate used to be really frustrating. Anybody who used to play the game, old Levitate, was basically the same text as this 2-cost Levitate, except it cost 1. And so, really frustrating, heavy, hard control decks would just run a playset of Levitate in there and just have, a cantrip Aegis Popper. And it was so frustrating to play against. And then they printed a Lessie, and then playing, a Lessie Berserk Levitate decks was just was just such an offensive affront to that deck was pretty frustrating to play against, and that will still exist. I think that deck's going to make a comeback. But now it doesn't just get to slot into every primal deck, as even if you weren't running, and now it's being played as intended.
Yeah,
now,
a lot of control decks were playing this card, just like you said, to pop Aegis and also just to cycle through their deck. And I don't think it was intended just for control decks. That's not it's like they weren't even playing units and they were playing Levitate, and it was just what?
There was actually a 1 week period for a while where the Levitate was bugged and you could actually play it on an empty board and just draw a card. That interaction was banned in the ETS. I remember it being a big debate.
Yeah,
but it was just for 1 week. But Levitate was truly insane.
I'm really excited about this, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm excited about this is because another card that got buffed. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. But I'm really excited to have Levitate back for another card. But let's move on. All right, we have a nerf. Avigraft. Okay, you know what Avigraft does. It's the 3 costs, 2 justice influence. It says, kill an enemy unit without flying. The cursed player can't play units with that name while you have Avigraft. Entomb, they play a 3/3 Valkyrie. It's a cursed relic. It now costs 4 instead of 3. Alright? I don't think this will see main deck play anymore. No,
I think it's a market card now. I think a better nerf to Avigraft would have been to make the reward for destroying it better. If you got a bigger Valkyrie for killing it. That was my proposed nerf. I don't know why no one listens to me. But at 4, it's probably just not good enough to be... People are still going to dunk on me with it, and they're going to pull it out of their market and ruin my life. But I don't think you run 4 in the deck anymore.
Yeah, I think the problem was that with it, too, they didn't like so many people playing them on all the merchants, and so people couldn't play. It was what's the word I'm looking for? It was knocking down the back and forth, kind of the interactiveness between the decks. There's no counter. The people could not counter something their opponents did now if this was in play, because it was if people were running 4 of these in a deck, it was so cheaply costed, and it was just no brainer. That's what one of the best things to do. Avigraft, they play a merchant, boom, throw it on the merchant, especially if it was a red Canyon Smuggler and they didn't grab Boar or something like that. You have no way of getting rid of this, and all your relics are free to play. So, not free to play, but free without fear. Free without fear of being destroyed. There we go.
Yeah.
So, it'll still see play, but like I said, market. And any last words on this before we go into a card that got buffed?
No, let's go on.
Okay. Zhao Qi got a buff. Okay, basically the new Icaria here. The 7 costs, 2 fire, 2 time, 2 primal influence, 7/5 charge. Entomb, play 2 4/4 Runestalkers with flying. It now has all of that plus Overwhelm. So it has charge. That's huge. Okay, that's big. Especially if you play this attacking sites and everything, you can go through a blocker. That's pretty big.
Yeah, this card was already really, really good, and now it's I think it's going to be a tier 1 deck. I think this is going to be... I think the decks that this was already in are going to be much, much better now.
Yeah, it's worth to craft 4 copies of this, play this, because it's just when this comes down, there's not a lot of silence going on with Valkyrie, Enforcer, and other cards that do silence. I'm trying to think. There's not a lot going on right now, so this card is kind of like play it. There's not a lot of counterplay to it, and you're gonna get something from it. And but yeah, so I don't know if it's a good change or if they needed this change because it was already a good card, but now it's like a really good card.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm excited to play with it.
Yes.
And maybe check back in with me in a month when I'm tired of losing to it. Yes. But right now, for now, this morning, I'm optimistic.
Yes. But soon it's gonna be on stream and someone's gonna play Zalchi, like one right after another, and he's gonna be like, I hate this game. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I won't, because I'm forcing positivity. I'm positive forever.
He'll be smiling on the screen, kind of like this full smile.
My heart is breaking inside.
He'll just sit there and smile. You might think his stream froze or something like that, because he's just not moving and smiling. It'd be great. All right. Let's go on to the next one. This one got a nerf. Yes, Howling Peak did get hit. We all know what Howling Peak does. It's a 6 cost, 2 fire, 2 primal, has 5 armor. When you play a unit, it gets +3 until your next turn. The 3 cards you can play from it once per turn: Caleb's Agenda, Caleb's Saver, Mirror Image. I'm sorry, yeah, and then and Gun Down. But you get Caleb's Agenda, which is the card. But you get 4 things from there. All right.
Yeah.
This got changed to 4 durability instead of 5. So it has the 5 armor or 5 durability now, and it gives 2 health instead of 3. So cost is the same, but everything's just been weakened by 1. Well, the durability and the health. So what do you think?
I think this changes it from Howling Peak is by far the best site, and you're an idiot for even asking the question, to still probably the best site, but it's
fairer.
Yeah, it's I think Howling Peak was probably fine and didn't really need a nerf, but this is I don't care. This is a fine nerf. It was so much better than every other site, and now it's just very, very, very good.
Yes. Instead of being in that tier S class of cards, now it's just like that, tier A or tier 1 class of cards. So
yeah, I might consider building a Skycrag deck and not putting Howling Peaks in it now, which is insane. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, if you're playing those colors, Skycrag colors, whether you're playing aggro, you're just putting this card because it does so much. But yeah. Anyway, so I think it's good for it. I think they just tweaked it just slightly. They didn't change the cost because changing the cost really will. If they changed it to cost 7, it would make it unplayable. I think. But they just tweaked it ever so slightly. And I think it's a fair balance. I still think it will be played. I still think it's really good, and I mean, it's still a strong consideration for any Skycrag deck or with those influences. But it's not like a must include now. I think, which I think is what they wanted. All right, let's go on to our builder rounds. Okay, let me go off Howling Peaks here. All right, builder rounds. All right, for this we have a few cards here. And the last 2 I'm really excited about. Let's go run through the first 2 real quick. Shard of the Spire. It was a 4 cost, 1 Justice Influence. It says when you play a unit, its attack or health becomes the higher of the 2. It now originally cost 4 and now costs 3. So I think they want to see a little bit more of this play just as for relic decks. I don't know. I've never really played this card. I've only seen this played against me once. So I don't have a lot to say about this, honestly. So fill me in, Bassoon.
It was a bad card, and now it's a slightly worse bad card, or a slightly better bad card.
All right.
It is still a bad card.
All right, we're just gonna move on now. Okay, there we go. I don't think we need to talk about it. All right, let's go on to Calderon the Cradle. This one was a 4 cost, fire and primal influence, and it says for every 5 spells you play a 5/5 dragon with flying. Now it says it is now, instead of costing 4, it is now a 3 cost. So is this the same thing? A bad card to slightly not as bad card?
Yeah, I think this one might go into some kind of maybe in the market of a Moment of Creation deck. I don't know. This still seems pretty unplayable though.
I'm glad it's costing 3 now because maybe with future sets you have cheaper spells. Maybe you can I don't know, like cycle more and just do things like with levitate and with just just kind of like throw in as many cheap spells in the deck as possible and kind of build around this. I don't know. We need someone like with deck builder, like the deck builder mind to like sit down and like, okay, find us a halfway decent deck with this. And
if they had lowered the number of spells you need to get the dragon, then we can talk. But 5 spells is like a lot.
I'd be tempted to play this if it cost 3 and it was 4 spells instead of 5. Anyway, there we go. All right, next one. This is why I'm so excited. Levitate got, I guess, balanced better. It didn't get unnerfed, but I think it's like a very fair card and a very playable and good card now to before it wasn't seen in play. Because Anaya, Arctic Sheriff, this card right here, I thought this was a cool card, but there was one major drawback with this card, and I'll tell you in a second. It was a 5 cost, 2 justice, 2 primal influence, a 4/3, and there it was, the 3 cost. Okay, it's not torch proof, all right, and I'm not gonna pay something. I'm not gonna pay 5 for something that can get hit by a 1 cost card right away. So, but we're going to talk about that. And it says pledge, and it says summon, stun an enemy unit. It stays stunned while you have Anaya, renown, +2/+2 in Aegis. So you can give this card flying and +2/+2 in Aegis now with levitate. But now it's been buffed. It is now a 4/4 instead of a 4/3. So I think that's huge actually.
Anaya was close to being pretty freaking good, and now I think it's just a really good card. Yes. I'm pretty excited to play with this.
Oh, when I saw levitate and this in the same, I was so excited. I was so very excited, and I want to put those 2 cards together in a deck with Finest Hour and everything else, and just have fun. And
yeah, I think like a Huru Renowned Berserk deck is going to be really cool.
Oh man, that's okay. That's almost as good as my coffee right now. Okay, let's go on. But yeah, so this card I definitely think will definitely see play. I think it's really good now. I think it's a really I think if I had to do my top 5 legendaries again, this might be in it now because of this buff right here. So. And just real quick, I want to give a shout out to Direwolf Digital. They just don't nerf cards, they buff some cards too, which I'm glad they do that, okay? I'm just going to say I'm glad they change things and they buff things and they go back that they originally nerfed and tweaked it a little bit better like Levitate, so appreciate you. Shout out to you guys. All right. I'm secretly trying to get a dev on the show too, so anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Next one is Farah, Fate Touch. One of the original Scions. Here we go. This was an 8 cost, 3 shadow influence, 6/6. It had deadly, and it said when you play another shadow unit, play an additional shadow unit from your void. Alright, now it says when you play a shadow unit, including Vara, play an additional shadow unit from your void and give it void bound. And these right here, some people are actually excited about this card. They say like some type of re-emanation deck can come back. I'm not like, because, oh yeah, I'm sorry. It says when you play another shadow unit, this says the buff is when you play another shadow unit, including Vara, play an additional shadow unit from your void and give it void bound. So you can recur this and play this, and it would play like a little chain reaction, because originally you could just like kind of chain a bunch of stuff all together all in one turn, and it was kind of crazy. Like I need to find out what the original. What do you think about this?
The original Vara is this new Vara, except it didn't give void bound.
There we go. Thank you.
So you could just recur everything from you. So there was like a reanimator deck that was literally just discard half your deck and then recur Varas infinitely until and just refill your board forever until your opponent dies. It was actually kind of broken and a really frustrating deck to play against. However, I like this change. There's going to be some cool decks, and it gives Feln some late game, which I really appreciate. But really frustrating interaction that is probably going to make me mad is if you know, the tokens that Azendel makes are actually shadow units.
Ooh.
So if you play Vara with an Azendel in your void, you get the Azendel, and then you get the 2 tokens, which then recur 2 more units from your void. So for Vara, with an Azendel in your Void, and you play a Vara, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bodies for 8 power. So that's going to be really frustrating. I think that's going to be an interaction, and you get Azendel, which is like a borderline broken unit.
Yeah. So you play Azendel, it gets killed. You play this, and you get Azendel back again.
Yeah. On curve, mind you.
Yes,
7 into 8.
On curve. That's how it was intended. I'm not sure, but I'm interested in try that out. Really, I am, as having this as for the top of the curve and everything, and maybe have one in the market as well, so you can just bring this out when you get late game just to do things. I think it's going to be good. I think from Feln to Xenon, I think this is a huge buff for those decks, and I think that's actually a good thing. It could get annoying at the end. This might bring back a lot more harsh rules if these get see play. So, because
I think at some point they're going to make the tokens that Azendel makes colorless.
They probably should. Like,
I don't want to be all like gloom and doom, woe is me immediately, but that's insane. That's an insane interaction. But we'll see. Well, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm wrong. I've said a lot of things are broken, and they just haven't been. So maybe I'm wrong about this too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so these are the balance changes mostly for ranked play. I mean, they'll still be used in draft too and everything. But I mean, there are some draft changes as well. But as I'm not a drafter, I only draft when I'm forced to draft, like when I have draft tickets, and Bassoon is still in his draft from mid-December. So we're not
the only draft changes I want to talk about is Mighty Strikes, because I thought before Mighty Strikes was borderline constructed playable, and now it's not. Now it's just a draft card.
Okay, there you go. That is our draft input of the show. So there we go. So anyway, this will conclude our show. Bassoon, as we go out, what is your shout-outs? Where can they find you? All that good stuff. Take us out.
You can follow me at twitch.tv/BassoonBuffoon. I stream some number of days every week. Still working out that exact schedule, but I love you and thank you for tuning in when you do. You can follow me on Twitter at HumanVenipede. It is the best and funniest tag on the website. I will never change it. And I'm really excited to play some new cards, some new decks. Basically, this is like a little mini expansion.
I know. I'm excited too. So, for me, you can find me at WhatTheDeckHS on Twitter. You can find also me in the From the Void Podcast Discord. If you go from the voidpodcast.com, click on the link that says Discord, and it'll take us right there where we hang out, talk about cards, talk about other random things. It's a good time. If you like Hearthstone, check out our sister cast, at HeroPower_cast on Twitter. They talk about Hearthstone, and I believe that it is. So shout out to all of you in chat for listening, sticking around while we talked about the balance changes. I hope you enjoyed our opinions. We're looking forward to the new, I almost said new game, but the new meta. And
new game, basically.
Yeah. And so it is the wild, wild west in Eternal right now. So it is great. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week from the Void.